Today, I'm spending the day learning how to control fear from the person who's mastered it best, Alex Honnold. Alex is one of the only people in the world who climbs massive rock faces completely alone. No rope, no harness, which means no margin for error. In 2017, he free soloed El Capitan, a nearly 3,000 foot wall in Yosemite, one of the hardest climbs on earth. Most people assume someone who does that must not feel fear, but that's actually the biggest misconception about Alex. He does feel fear. He's just learned how to master it.
I mean, I'm definitely better at the psychological side of climbing than pure physical.
So today, I'm training with Alex to break down how he actually manages fear and how any athlete can apply the same process when the pressure is highest. Whether in a marathon, high rocks, Ironman, or any race. Help me confront my own fear of heights outside on a real cliff face, and let me join him for one of his typical training sessions, and learning the mindset he uses to stay calm in moments where the pressure couldn't possibly be higher. We're going to start outdoors to confront my fear of heights head on. I'm actually shit scared, just FYI, like, oh my God. Legends, welcome to another episode, and check it out, we're here in Vegas. I know it may not look like it because of the beautiful landscape behind me. There is no slot machines, but this is what truly Nevada is. And today's episode is unbelievably special. We are bringing on the master of mastering fear. And this person, the difference between fear and not being able to conquer it is death. So legends, that individual I was telling you about is none other than the man himself, Alex Honnold. Bro, thanks for having us in your backyard, bro.
Thanip for coming.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah, I was like, yeah.
Can I just say,
over here. Yeah.
Can I say, look at his hands though for a second. Like, can we get a little zoom in on this dude? Look at the hands. Look how thick and muscularly these bad boys are for a reason. So behind us, we have, what is this location called?
Red Rock.
It is Red Rock. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. First time being here. And today, Alex is going to take me up. He's going to test me on a number of things, really push my limits. But whilst we're doing that, we're going to ask him a bunch of questions. But I don't think I'll be asking many questions.
I was thinking I wasn't going to push your limits too hard. We're just going to go climbing, make sure you don't die.
Okay.
We'll see.
That's good.
But if we really want to push your limits, we can walk a little further and do something really big.
Well, the question I want to know is, am I wearing a rope today?
Yeah.
Okay, so
yeah,
I'm
we
not
got
free
ropes
soloing.
in the bottom.
Yeah,
no,
cool.
we could go soloing though if you really want to get scared.
Hey, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see how it feels.
We'll see what happens.
Cool.
Let's get into it.
All right.
We began walking to the rock cliff, and as we approach, we are pretty much going around a mountain cliff where the drop is death, and he's just casually walking with not a care in the world, whereas both me and my camera guy Alex are, you know, somewhat like trying to keep up with him, but at the same time kind of in awe of how casual Alex was. Oh my God. You good back there, bro? Yeah, you good? Yeah. Alex is assessing as to whether this would be the first one we climb, and I'm looking at it going, if he tells me to climb it, I'm climbing it, but all in the back of my head going, where do you hold on to?
Yeah, let's just try, huh?
Fuck it, let's do it, man. Let's do it, why not?
We'll do a tutorial.
At what point do I tell you that I had a finger flexor carpi, essentially tendon, broken about 15 years ago?
Well, 15 years ago, who cares?
Exactly.
Yeah, it seems fine.
Exactly, yeah, you're good.
If you were going to say like 10 days ago, I'd be worried. But
Yeah. Essentially, he's calling me a pussy. Fuck, dynamic duo.
Let's
Alex
hope
and Dan right here, just doing our thing. So this is probably what, 15, 20 feet right here?
No, it's probably 30 feet.
30 feet,
30,
cool.
35 or something.
All right.
Over the top.
And he said he thinks he could beat me in a speed climb, and we're just gonna really see if he can actually do that, so.
No, what I'm gonna do is climb really slowly and gently and try to figure out how you're gonna climb this.
Yeah, cool.
Because this is like actually, honestly, even the very first step, I'm like, I'm not sure what you're gonna do.
Yeah, good to know. It's good confidence boosting right here.
And so have you ever jammed before? Probably not.
The closest thing to jamming for me is reducing a raspberry, thing into some sort of jam.
Okay, look, my very first move, I'm doing a very high step onto this ledge.
Yes, chef.
And then I'm standing way up to a shelf.
Okay.
I'm wedging my foot in. I'm jamming. Yeah, so jamming is like when you put your bones into the wall, basically.
Oh, cool. Okay. Did you ever do Boy Scouts?
No, I only know one knot. It must be great. And then kick your left foot out on the other face more. And you can like open up and remember, try to balance on those legs so you're not pulling too hard with your arms.
Oh wow, that's crazy. That's crazy to think, genuinely, the natural instinct is to be holding on with your arms.
Yeah, but actually you can go almost no hands there, huh?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Oh, that was the end, Dan.
Fuck me, dude. Dude, I made 5 meters, not even. Oh my God.
I think that's like 2.5 meters.
Yeah.
I'm no expert in metric, but I'm pretty sure that's...
Yeah, fuck.
Boy.
Fuck. So what would you give me out of scorecard out of 10?
I'd give it like a solid, I mean, you know, pretty good. Yeah, you did the thing. You only fell once.
I only fell once.
And it was kind of a silly little slip at the bottom, and then you climbed the whole thing.
Yeah. Biggest thing's 100% your legs though.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can see like, yeah, obviously you've got muscular strength, but like, fuck, I gassed my forearms, dude.
Yeah, should we do a harder one?
Yeah.
We can do, we'll do the same thing with the same rope, the same setup, but we'll do this one on the left. It's a little harder.
Wow. Okay. Fuck, it makes it look so effortless, but there's like nothing to grip onto.
Yeah, so I would say for this one, don't be surprised if you can't make it to the top.
Cool. Good to know.
Yeah, it's pretty hard.
How many days a week would you call it? I call this like simulation, what we call simulation in high rocks or hybrid training is like where you're doing something that's actually the sport. So
in climbing, you climb all the time.
Okay.
I basically never have a day that's not climbing, except for occasional days where you go like hiking or running or something.
Yeah.
But even those, you're generally doing it to a climbing, you know, it's like I'm running in the mountains or I'm looking at mountains or,
totally.
You know, I'm never like going to a track and doing a track workout.
Have you read Malcolm Gladwell's Outliers?
Yeah, of course.
10,000 hours? How many hours do you reckon you've done?
I don't know, I mean, 30 years, 5 days a week.
You work that out? Yeah, shit.
So kind of a lot, you know?
Yeah. So obviously you got the physical side,
Yeah,
but then you got the 10,000 hours of the mind too. Like, because your fear factor is minimal.
Well, but that's just, you do a thing long enough, you get used to it.
Right, but do you think you've trained, that's the thing, like you've trained 10,000 hours of being fearless.
Well, or 10,000 hours of being really freaking scared.
Yeah.
Which is like kind of the real thing.
Yeah, wow.
But I mean, I have plenty of friends though who've been climbing 50 years, let's say, and you know.
Same thing?
Well, I actually have probably climbed more than most of my friends just because I'm like doing it a lot.
Yeah.
But I mean, I have a lot of friends though who've also been doing this their whole lives, all the time. It's like, yeah, you just do the thing.
Fuck.
Okay, this one's gonna be way trickier.
Cool, awesome.
We'll see what you got.
I believe a lot of people can misinterpret Alex's relaxed state for not caring. To him, climbing is an essential part of his day. It's a non-negotiable. And fear is non-existent in the majority of it due to the fact that he's earned the right to know the comfortable state in which he wants to stay in. It's not he doesn't care or he isn't concerned, but he's just done it so many times that it doesn't factor into him about what else could happen. So he doesn't even think about the aspect of fear. It's illogical to him.
If you straighten your right leg as you stand up, you know, you'll get more extension off. Yep, perfect. Perfect. Hey, you look like you've actually climbed. Left foot onto something, anything.
Many of you may not know this, but I've been terrified of heights my whole life. So even though what we're climbing may not look scary to many of you, this was extremely uncomfortable for me.
Move that far and you're like, man, I don't want to trust this foot because it feels terrible, but what do I do, you know?
What about like, one thing I've thought of as well is when you put your feet in places that don't look like they've been put before and the rock could fall off.
Yeah.
Like, what about that?
Yeah, it's scary. You're like, oh, I hope it doesn't break.
He's so relaxed that it's almost more humorous to think about what could happen than what is going to happen based on what he has in control because of how many times he's practiced something. There's something to say about someone who's so jovial in these situations.
Whoa. You gotta look down into the chasm.
Dude, I did not want to look down then, bro. Be ballsy right now, but I'm actually shit scared. Just to FYI, like this. Are you kidding, dude? Oh my god!
I mean, it's not even that big a chasm. Like, you wouldn't die, but oh, you know, you could just stand.
So, snack time, which is something I love. Check this out. Alex's snack time is he had a smoothie. He's also got some nuts, some dried mango, which honestly, probably the most underrated food on the planet. This is delicious. Macadamia nuts. You were definitely surprised that like I was so interested in these, just because they're an Australian delicacy. And then I don't see them that often, honestly, on the east coast of America, but they're delicious. $8.90. So we're gonna rip this. We're here inside the training wall. We've just been outside, obviously. Didn't want to gas myself too much, but we'll be interested to see what Alex has in store for me here. Table tennis, gym setup, and Alex, what do you call this, dude?
Board climbing, just climbing on boards. Cool. One's a kilter board, one's a tension board.
Wow.
It's a loading pin and then a block, and then you can just like, it's just a way to use your fingers.
Yeah, okay.
Very casual. But so, right now I'm in the midst of like, so leading up to the building thing, like, which was last month, I was doing way more like workout-y stuff at the end of my climbing sessions. I mean, I was still prioritizing like climbing my best, but then afterward I do a bunch of like full body workout stuff.
Yep.
Because the building's like so physical and like muscly.
Totally.
But then basically as soon as I finished the building, I was like, well, don't need that anymore.
No.
And so now I'm kind of like, you know, all I really care about is finger stuff. And so now I'm climbing a lot, and then at the end, I'm just doing like extra finger stuff, like moving this thing around, moving weights around.
So that's interesting. So based on the project that you're doing, so say the
yeah, it's totally
tower.
catered to your project.
Wow. And so like you look at a project like that, and that's going to be very strength specific because you're doing the same kind of holds over and again, right? Is that right? Is that right in saying that? Or do you, because effectively when you're doing type A versus like a rock clave, which is interdispersed with different things, there's just more technique involved in having to like know the different trail, right?
Yeah.
Whereas with this one, it's like, if I'm going to be doing strength, I have to then dial in everything from forearm to legs to mobility right into it. That's I didn't even think about that.
Well, I mean, some climbing objectives, I'm like training my running more, and like, you know, some climbing objectives are more about like big cardio days and like huge outings. Other climbing projects are just like pure finger strength.
Yep.
And so really you want to structure your whole year around like, what are you training for?
Alex has what we call an essentialist mindset, the ability to zone in on a task, completely and solely dedicate himself towards that so he can just crush what's in front of him. He's disregarding anything that is not pertaining to the task at hand. And a lot of us can learn from this. If we all had that mindset in whatever it is we did, we would be crushing every little detail of our journey and ultimately winning the outcome.
Yeah. But this is all just to like warm up my fingers, warm up my arms before I start actually rock climbing. Which I'll be like, I basically do 20, 30 minutes of like stuff.
Soft, yeah,
And then when
cool.
I start on the board, I'm like, oh, I use my fingers.
I struggle, man, with these things. Like,
Yeah, so that's the big one. Can you hang from that one?
let's see. Yeah, I don't know if I can do a pull-up. Oh, hang on.
Yeah, easy cheesy.
Wow, that's...
So here, on this one, sorry,
Yeah, man.
on this littler one, try using this.
Okay.
That's the one that I was just using. And then same deal, like, you know, nice form with your fingers and just whoop.
Oh.
But it should be like kind of hard.
Genuinely though, look at the size of your fingers compared to mine though. Look how
Yeah, they're like-
look how meaty the look at that. Look at this. Look at this. Look at that.
It's like double the size of your finger.
That's genuinely because of...
Well, though, honestly, it'd be better to have smaller fingers because if you think of like rock outdoors, if you're trying to grab tiny, tiny edges, you're better off having tiny fingers,
Right.
basically.
Right.
Everyone always looks at hands and be like, oh, you have big hands, that's great. And I'm like, I don't think it helps because like realistically, like actually, so here, feel this, like feel the 6 mil
Yeah, how the
edge.
fuck are you gonna do that?
Well, I'm warming up to it, but hopefully I'll hang on that in a second.
I can't hang on to that.
No,
There's
I mean, you wouldn't expect it.
No, but like, how do you do that with your big fingers?
Well, that's the thing is like, so when I touch this, like look how, it doesn't even look like I'm touching anything, does it?
No.
You know what I mean? It's like a joke.
Can you do that?
Oh, well, once I warm up.
You want your warm up? Yeah. So go, this one was it? This one?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. No, hang on.
Like no chance?
No, I don't feel any strength at all there. That's too easy. Let's try.
And then the one below it. Go one below it.
This one?
Yeah. That's the same one you were using a second ago, roughly.
That's still fucking...
Yeah. Yeah, it's challenging, huh? You know, if you're trying to climb El Cap,
Yep.
El Cap is 3,000 feet high. So no matter what, you're doing 3,000 feet of vert in some short amount of time.
Totally.
In the shortest amount of time you can. You know, and so like any kind of climbing challenge is always driven by your legs, and you're always doing some amount of vertical gain. Okay, so then I basically just do some hangs and some campusing. So this is campusing.
Okay.
And you basically this is like.
And this is all torso and upper body. Wow. Okay. And just to be clear, this is still the warm-up. Like, this is still the warm-up. And this is a 20-minute process. Fuck, dude.
Oh, really good.
Wow.
That's actually pretty good.
Thanks,
That's
Dave.
like good power, like being able to catch.
Yeah. Fuck. Cool. You know, people say, what do you bench, or what's your high rocks time in the climbing world? It's, what's your deadlift with fingertips?
Block pulling.
Block pulling, there you go. What is your block pulling?
I don't know if that's actually a thing that people ask, but.
It's definitely not. I assumed all of Alex's fear of training is done outdoors, but it turns out the gym is where he really puts in the reps. He's a master because he's put well over 10,000 hours of work into his craft. Does everything challenging in the gym over and over, so that when he gets to the cliff face, his mind switches off and his physical form just goes through the reps. Yes! 10 all! Have you read The Inner Game of Tennis?
The what?
Inner Game of Tennis?
I haven't read it. I think I heard of it.
It's it talks about like how we have self one and self two, and how self one, if we allow it to a lot, you know, control ourselves, and self one's very like intellect. So they use tennis as an example, but if you think too much about the shot and how hard you want to hit it, you stiffen up. So that's where self two, which is the physical sense, actually gets affected.
Yeah. And
so like I think about it when I'm throwing a football. If you like throw a football 10 yards, you may be much more relaxed in how you do it. So it comes out fluidly and, you know, more effortlessly. Whereas you try and throw a football 40 yards and you try and like tighten up and it becomes like not fluid. And like I was thinking about this with you and rock climbing. It's like your ability, obviously you talked about your amygdala a lot and how you got your inner self versus like, you know, not having to think about the outside. But do you feel like you separate yourself from like the intellect on the inside and thinking about it versus the physical side, or you've just known your whole life to just put away fear through what you know through amygdala in a natural sense?
I mean, I don't even know. Like ideally you're just climbing.
Yeah.
You know, like you're not thinking about it, you're just doing the thing.
Yeah.
Chill.
Yeah.
You know, it feels like walking or whatever else.
Just doing the thing. The most appropriate response to someone who has what we call a truly calmed self-one side of our body. Now, self-one and self-two is depicted in The Inner Game of Tennis, a great book that you should read, in that self-one is very intellectual, its thought process can have an effect on self-two, the physical output side. So if you're super tense, rigid, as a result of the thought of what you have to do, it can affect your output. So, you know, serving, forehand, whatever it is. In this case, if you think too much about what you're trying to achieve, fear can take over, or you may be in a process where you can't physically breathe properly and all those kind of things. Panic attacks can set in. Alex, his whole response to that question was, you just do the damn thing, which to me indicates that his whole position is relaxed and dominated by self-two. He's calmed the mind of self-one. So it just shows once again the state of his fluid nature. And when he's on the climb, when he's on that rock face, just how calm he truly is. He doesn't force it, it's truly natural to him.
Okay, so I'm like dangling. I grab this, I'm like dangling. And then I just turn my hips, you know?
Yeah,
like,
wow. Ah, shit, that's impressive.
You know, I can just kind of like swing between them if you want.
Yep. Oh my God.
You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to pull between them if you don't want to, but.
Bro, I hope you truly fathom how physically impressive Alex is. And if you take a contrasting look at both Alex and myself in the situation, Alex's board is on an extreme angle with much tighter handholds compared to mine, easier handholds and a less degree of an angle. Yet I am struggling, my body's shaking, I'm convulsing effectively, and Alex is just effortlessly climbing his way up that difficult board. It is truly impressive. Fuck yeah, bro. That was so sick. That was awesome, dude. It's when you see the full wingspan just like going crazy. Would you class yourself a better climber or someone who just who's mastered like fear better?
I mean, I'm definitely better at the psychological side of climbing than pure physical.
Yeah.
You know, like all my friends are stronger than me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like everyone I climb with is kind of better than me at rock climbing in a lot of ways. But for whatever reason, I've made it work for myself over the years.
Well, maybe it's because you've soloed more than anyone else, right? Or have you soloed more than anyone else? Or have you just done things that are...
I've soloed a lot.
Yeah.
And yeah, probably more than almost anybody.
Right.
Maybe more than anybody.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I think it's interesting though, because like part of the reason that I'm weaker than many of my friends, I think, is because I've spent so much time soloing and adventuring. Because, you know, we're talking about the physiology of it and stuff. It's like so much of soloing and like adventure climbing is basically cardio and like hiking and like going out and just puttering, and it's like lacking this intensity.
Yep.
And so basically, if you want to be a really strong rock climber, you spend all your time doing stuff like this that's like really intense. And I've always kind of balanced the two, where I'm like, I go adventuring and then I do a little bit of this, like just enough of this to stay strong enough that I can go adventuring. But if you want to be elite at this, you do this.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And so like now that I'm like, I mean, I'm basically the best at board climbing right now than I ever have been, because we have kids now and I own a board, so I'm just like at home so much more.
Totally.
But in the past, I mean, I was just like out adventuring nonstop, and it's like it's hard to be strong if you're just always like doing stuff.
Definitely.
You know, yeah, it's like, you know, it's hard to be a great sprinter if you're out running 30 miles every day.
100%.
You know, it's like,
Alex has a no bullshit approach to training. It's clear that he loves to climb. It's the favorite thing he loves to do. It's his life. To be good at climbing, you do have to love it. You can say that about any skill. But to be elite, you have to have a no bullshit approach. You definitely learn that from him. He has been willing to do whatever it takes to achieve that next outcome. That is beyond discipline. He trains on a task that is decimal points to improving his ability. Whatever it takes, he will fix himself on that given task until he's accomplished it. And that's the craziest thing. He doesn't need to get up and motivate himself to do. He just does. That's what makes him so special. I genuinely have fear at the top. Like, I have fear, even coming down, I'm scared of falling and like, I don't know.
that's probably partially well-founded though, because I mean, you haven't fallen off the board like 10 billion times. You know what I mean? Like, I've literally fallen off this board like hundreds, like thousands of times. And I've like fallen on my head from the top. I've like fallen on my back.
Yep.
And so you're just like kind of used to, you know what you can handle. Huh. But like, you know, you probably don't fall that much in normal life.
No.
Like, hopefully when you're in the gym, you don't just fall down all the time.
No.
So you don't have like a...
I've dropped a couple of bench presses on me, but that's about it. I think up until this point, people don't see Alex falling. You don't see him failing. You don't see him struggling. That's what's really cool about this moment I'm seeing right now inside the gym. It's like he's challenging himself at his threshold so that when he's out on the actual cliff face with no rope, he knows what his limits are. He's not testing his fear. He's testing his ability to achieve a skill in a safer environment, knowing then that when he's out on the cliff face, he takes the relaxed state with him. He knows what his limits are and he practices day in, day out. That means that when he's on the cliff face, He has practiced something so often, he knows what the edge of failure is, that he's become so comfortable and relaxed up on that cliff. So yes, Alex does fail. He fails hundreds of times in a week, but he does so that allows him to have absolute confidence when he's up on the cliff face.
I have a cousin that lives in town, he's my second cousin, and he would come over and do like 4-hour gym sessions with me. And so just like having a pal who's willing to like push you and hang out the whole time, I was like, oh, it's like I got a coach. Basically every day he'd be like, one more set, one more rep, like, come on. Basically he wanted to see PRs every day.
Yeah.
And I was kind of like, it doesn't quite work that way. Like you can't PR every day, but it wasn't nice. It was nice to have that intention, where like, I'm gonna try to improve each session.
Totally.
Right.
And do you respond well to like, there's certain people who just don't respond well to like that Rocky mentality. They just need peace and quiet. Like, do you have like a balance of what's preferred for you?
No, I'm in the middle. I'm fine.
Yeah.
I don't love like gym bro. Like, come on, bro, you got it. So I'm kind of like, and especially my cousin pushing with like one more, and I'm kind of like, I know that I shouldn't always do one more because you don't get to be like a 40-year-old professional athlete without knowing when you like leave some in the tank and you like don't blow your elbows up. I'm kind of like, no, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good, dude.
Like,
yeah.
And especially, if you are PRing or you're like pushing into new ground a little bit, you're like, you don't want to push too far, too hard, too fast. Like, I just don't need to blow myself up.
No.
But that said, it's like good to have the encouragement. It's funny though, because in climbing, it often comes down to the crux. Like, can you do the hardest moves?
Yeah.
And if you're not able to do, actually there's a classic saying in climbing, like this is pure power, like pure raw.
Yeah.
And there's a quote from a famous climber, it's like, without power, there's nothing to endure. Like, it doesn't matter how much endurance you have. If you can't do the hardest moves, there's no point in having great endurance.
Totally.
And so,
Makes sense.
that's the thing with climbing to a certain point. It's like you basically have to be able to do the hard moves. You just can't do hard climbs.
We can all take a lot away from this principle in the sense that we often are constantly trying to break records and push that top level boundary on ourselves, but we are not as dedicated to doing the small things which can be what is truly going to help improve the outcome as a whole. For example, we often just go into a bench press and continue to lift the bench, but we're not willing to do work on the stabilizer and smaller muscles to improve the bench press, which can be the limiting factor ultimately. Alex has, again, that essentialist mindset, where he's not going to come in and gas himself every time just to try and, do a PR. Yet he's going to do the little things that allow him to eventually develop the strength and ability to achieve that greater outcome. He earned every single part of his abilities through grit, time. The amount of time he spent doing all this, and then the mindset to back it up. We all have days we don't want to go run, but he just has this essential mindset of what he loves to do with doing the small things. No.
Alright, try another problem?
Another problem, bro. Another problem. One of the best things about rock climbing as I'm learning is you do a little boulder, take a sit, do a little boulder, play a set. Do a boulder, play a set. It's a perfect day. So when my lovely fiance watches me on this episode at some point, she's like, well, how was your day? How's your day at work? I'm like, hung out with a mate, played some table tennis, climbed a rock. It's pretty cool.
We'd be like, it was very hard work.
It was a really hard day.
It was a really hard
day. We trained, we lifted, we climbed, we ping-ponged. You truly feel as if this is what he does, and his casual nature is like he's built his life around what's really important to him. The biggest takeaway I've had from all of this is that we all hear that practice makes perfect. Alex has to be perfect every single day. And now that I've trained just one day with him, it makes so much sense. He's trained not only his physical output, the small, annoying, frustrating little details, but also, more importantly, he's calmed the mind in doing all this. And he's clearly good at ping pong too. God damn it. Oh!
I'm suddenly.
Ooh, yes!
It would be a gift if you finished any of them.
Okay. do actually an Indian Mexican fusion of cauliflower, like roasted cauliflower, essentially Mexican Indian tacos.
Mexican Indian tacos?
Yeah.
That sounds amazing.
We're gonna do that with, so some seared tofu, roasted cauliflower, pickled onions. Yeah, it should be nice.
Whoa,
Yeah.
that sounds really good.
Yeah, and some coloured rice. So we're gonna sear this. Before we sear it though, we're gonna coat it in a little basic spice rub. Olive oil, and the thing about firm tofu is it can really caramelize. And if you season it accordingly, it's delicious. And I know people were like, no it's not, like, well you just haven't cooked it right properly yet. What's like what would you say your typical, like what were you aiming for macro split wise typically?
I wasn't aiming. The thing is, I'm never aiming for anything because I do the same thing all the time. And so generally I'm just trying to see what I'm doing.
Yep.
Because I'm like, what I'm doing works fine.
Yep.
But I'm always just kind of curious. But in general, my diet is always much more fat than I would expect.
Yep.
It's actually like not like low carb, but kind of like lower carb than I would have guessed.
I'm curious what from my spice drawer you were drawn to. Did you bring this?
I unfortunately, bro, I'm sorry.
Oh my God, you brought a new
I'm
spice.
sorry, dude.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry, bro.
Get out of here.
In the restaurant, we would turn that out onto a big sheet tray and then let it fluff up even more. And that's like
I would
crazy.
have fluffed more on a sheet tray.
Because if you keep it in there right now and just scrape the bottom gets compact based on the weight. And so,
So if you let it out, it all fluffs.
exactly.
Huh.
Yeah. Which is again like the difference between labor of love and just getting the food onto the
Yeah,
plate.
I just put that.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
the kind of person that if I could would take a pill and not eat.
You're the, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
basically. I'm like, fine. Have you heard the saying, pearls before swine?
Yeah.
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 I'm the swine.
Yeah.
And you're creating pearls.
Yeah. I get you, bro. All right.
That's kind of why I love like veggie tofu, whatever, because it's like kind of simple and easy, and you're just
Yeah.
like, you know,
Yeah.
just put the fuel in.
He views food as a fuel source, and anything that does not help his climbing, he doesn't eat. You know, if it's not, he doesn't care about the flavor, he just truly is, you know, any distraction towards climbing, he doesn't want to have a bar with. And that includes the food. He lives close to climbing regions. He has a climbing wall in his backyard. He only eats things that he wants to help his climbing effectiveness. So ultimately, his essential mindset also plays into his nutrition. Speaking of that essentials mindset around his nutrition, I go into deeper dive around practices of what he eats in next week's newsletter. So if you have not already, subscribe to Legendary. It comes out 9:30 a.m. every Tuesday. It's free. You can click the link in the description down below to sign up if you haven't already. So pretty much a holiday or a visit, it has to be predicated on you climbing, which is awesome.
I honestly don't know if I've ever gone on like a vacation that's not a climbing trip.
Wow, that's cool.
I mean, like, why would you? Like, where would you go?
Why would you do it? Yeah. It's like me and surf. Why would you not have a beach where you go? Like,
Yeah, I can't imagine like traveling somewhere just to hang out. No, actually, that's not true. So like on a bunch of trips, like we went on a climbing trip to Sardinia, but then we stopped in Rome for like 2 days
say
on the way.
Sardinia has climbed. Oh, that would make sense.
Yeah, it's great. Actually, the Mediterranean in general has so much good limestone.
Yeah.
But so, yeah, we did like a couple days in Rome on the way.
Right.
And so that's like, you know, it's a climbing trip, but you do a little cultural stuff as you go.
Gotcha. What do you think of culture of Italy?
It was okay, but honestly, Rome was like hot and really busy and kind of crowded. And we were like, you know, like climbing Sardinia better. But like I've done that like you know, like toured Athens on the way to a climbing area.
Totally.
I've like toured, you know, a lot of the big cities in Europe, like on the way to or from other places.
Alex doesn't travel anywhere where climbing's not involved. And that's just so cool to hear from someone's lens who is so dedicated, clearly, even when he's not in training per se. His vacation time still includes the thing that he loves to do because his headspace is so focused on why would you go anywhere that doesn't include climbing? So we started the day on the cliff face team, we finished with tacos, and I hope you guys took away some factors around fear, how you can conquer it, some things around principles in your training. But
Did we conquer anything today?
I conquered one little thing, cauliflower. I did. What'd you conquer? You beat me.
I got conquered.
Yeah.
I'm like, my skin hurts, my fingers hurt. I'm tired. I'm like,
And it's the end of the day. We've got
Go on, Bear.
This is a reality of wonderful kids in your
I
life.
know, having wonderful kids is such a blessing. Hashtag blessed. Jude Bear, hashtag blessed. Go run, find mama. Run.
So with that being said, team, really appreciate you guys. Alex has obviously been a legend and what he's accomplished is incredible. And so we look forward to more training that you do, more epic adventures you're on to inspire many people. And if you guys want the taco recipe, I might let you know about it. Just drop the comments in below. Alex, thanks for letting us do it.
Thank you.
Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, I appreciate dinner. It's so tasty.
To many more, dude. To many more.
Keep eating my cauliflower.
This video was, I felt like I had a weight on my shoulder of responsibility to truly get inside the headspace of Alex and on behalf of the world. I didn't want it to be about just his physical feats, how he holds a clear face and all that. I was more interested in the questions that a lot of my friends and a lot of people that we surround ourselves with are most interested in. And so my hope is that we've answered those questions, that we understand why he is so great. And aside from the time he spends on the wall, it's what he does outside of it. If this is the first time coming to the channel and you liked what you saw, hopefully hit the subscribe button. And if you have any other questions about Alex and any other thing that you may felt we missed, I did get to spend some time with him. So ask a question in the comment down below and I'll get back to you. But just want to say again, a massive thank you to you, massive thank you to Alex and Sani, and also the team from RXR who represent both Alex and I. Without you guys, we would not have made this possible. So massive thank you. And with that being said, team, I had one of the best days of my life hanging out with Alex. I truly did. And my fingers are still incredibly sore. But I am a kid in a candy store thinking about these opportunities that I get, and I do not take any second of them for granted. So thank you so much. And we'll see you in the next video.